Well, hello there, troopers, and welcome back to General Kenobi's Bunker. Thank you so much for joining me here on another Saturday night. First one, first one of 2025. That's right, we are in the future. Pacific Rim happens this year, so we're in for a bumpy ride, guys. I'm just saying, get your Jaegers ready and make sure you don't live in any sort of coastal area, in the world, really. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Middle of the weekend, first weekend again of the year. I hope that it's going awesome for y'all. I hope that if you already had to go back to work like I did this week, that it wasn't too bad. Hopefully, not everybody's back to work yet. And if you're still on vacation, ooh man, enjoy those last few days. Get all those projects done, and get all that uh, get your munch on. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people are waiting for Monday. Monday's kind of like the all right. Let's get that. Let's get that diet going and let's get that exercise. And I'm sure the gyms are flooded by now. Not me. I like to keep it consistent. This doesn't happen without planning. So yeah, guys, I hope that again you're enjoying your weekend. I hope that this is your last weekend, before you have to go back to work. That it's a good one. That you've had a great Saturday. And if not, you still got Sunday. You still got Sunday tomorrow. To chill out, maybe catch up on some shows. I just finished. Squid Games 2, I should clarify. I was a big fan of the first one. I enjoyed it way more than I thought. And I I don't know. Squid Games 2 was fun, but I guess, it's very hard. It's very hard to follow up a very successful show like that. And sort of, be successful again. So I enjoyed it, but I can't really say that it's better. All right. A lot of it is very 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 similar. Yes, there's some plot twists here and there, but very much in the same sort of vein as the first season. I'm not gonna give anything away if you guys haven't seen it. I am very glad though that we are getting the third and last, from what I hear, last season this year, in about 6 or 7 months, which I'm glad. I think that's the way to do it. Um, and so yeah, I like I said, I enjoyed it. I watched, I watched it in like 3 days, I think, for for the second season, which is what, 7, 8 episodes. It's kind of short, right? But they're longer episodes, so not too bad. But like I said, it didn't like blow my mind, but it was very fun. Acting is very solid. Um, Plenty of action, and memorable characters. Same stuff as the first one, but maybe not so much. I was kind of hoping that it wouldn't be as much as the first one, right? But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that third and final season. I think that's actually the right call, uh, to sort of end it there. To sort of not keep going for 10 more seasons, and if it doesn't make sense. So all right, but the chat is on fire tonight, and I appreciate y'all always Bunker Bunch joining here, hanging out. This, in case this is your first time here on our Saturdays, late night hangouts. This is it. We just chat. You guys come up with something. We'll talk about it. If anything pops up, we'll talk about that. No real rhyme or structure. Not that we are known for our super structure, shows here in the bunker, but let's jump right into it. Oh, even before we started the show, we got our sister Nilda in the house. Appetite for Connectable saying LFG. Let's go. Yo, we got a brother Archer also in the house. Dude, I literally just saw Tatsu for the first time a few hours ago. Um yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that it took me so long. It took me longer than you, which is saying a lot. because you were actively, out hunting for a bit. I know, but let me see if I can pull it up. Um, it's on my phone because I was recording. We'll do a quick toy hunt in the next couple of days. But yeah, dude, I just found Tatsu at Walmart. So kind of crazy, kind of crazy. It took so long, and I actually shouted you out because I'm like, man, I, I never thought I was gonna be the last one to see it because I know that Archer was looking for it, actively looking for it. So I thought, that might happen. But I appreciate you joining me, and thank you so much. We got Freezy in the house saying hello there, JK. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. GK. That stands for General Kenobi in my book. Appreciate you joining, Jay Z. What's going on, man? Ultra Cars in the house. What is up to everybody in the chat? He says, "What's going on, Ultra Car? Appreciate you joining, man." Action Joe Figs. Good evening, fellas. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, man. Wishing you much success this year. And man, I hope that collection keeps growing, man. You've been doing good. Marta saying hi. Thanks so much for joining. We got Jeff in the house. I am safe from Pacific Rim here in the Arctic of NH, which stands for near Hoth system, because that's how cold it is up there. It is nuts. That's not where humans should live. Actually, Joe Fix, I go back on Monday after 2 weeks off. Nice, dude. Nice. Enjoy this last couple of days, dude. Very well deserved. Ultracar saying, get your plasma weaponry ready since 2025 is around the 32-year war against Skynet's machine, which lasted from 1997 to 2029. You know what? You're right. We should be, getting plasma weaponry standard issue anytime now. I feel that maybe we're a little bit late, if I remember correctly. Um, but you're right. Man, I can't believe it's already been, what is that, 28 years since we've been fighting Skynet. That's it's quite a while. That is quite a while. Luis joining the stream saying, hi, General. What's going on? Appreciate you joining. We got Sexy Flexi in the house. Evening Bunker Bunch. Hello there, mi general. What is going on, brother? Appreciate you joining, man. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Wishing you all the absolute best. Ultracar says, not only January 6th is Rinko Kikuchi's 44th birthday, but it will be the day Monday Night Raw will premiere. Oh, there you go. Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Guys, clarification, I know nothing about wrestling. I'm pretty sure that's a wrestling thing. I've heard the name before, so I apologize. I always say it. I've upset a couple of people on my YouTube videos when I do toy hunting, and I'm like, I don't know any of the names. I don't really know the faces, of course. So some people take offense, that I am not mentioning, or I am mispronouncing, or I am making fun of a figure based on their favorite wrestler. Sorry, it's really not my intention. I just don't know any of them. I couldn't tell you which one is, more famous than the next one, etc. So I just say whatever pops into my head. So just a little disclaimer there. Because I had a couple comments, during my hunts. They're like, "How dare you?" Which is fine. At least they're watching. Silver lining. Hey, Star Wars Addict 77 says Sexy Flexi. Hey, Arch says Sexy Flexi. Nilda saying second one was gory. Second one was gory. Yes. Second season was gorier. Sorry, it took me a little bit to reel it all the way back. And I did enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. All those little dramas, the interactions and everything. But I was hoping for a little bit more like outside of the games to happen. And it did at the beginning, and then it just kind of slide right back into the same sort of groove, right? Like action. But I think they did that on purpose. I'm hoping they did that on purpose, and they're gonna give us more next season, right? So season 3 is probably gonna be when they know the blow the lid off of everything, and then all hell breaks loose, which I am totally down for. Hey, look who it is, Jaeger 101. What's going on, brother? Thank you so much for joining, man. It's been a little while. How have you been? Happy New Year 2025, dude. You've been blowing up on YouTube, and couldn't happen to a better guy. And I'm glad, dude. You always put in a lot of work into your channel, into your news. You got that little um, spy net of information, you know. So, guys, definitely go check out Jaeger 101 here on YouTube. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you joining the stream. Flags says Jeff. Nilda says Jeff. Nilda says LFG Monday Night Raw. Hey, Scott. Ultracar says, yeah, appetite for collectibles. Let's effing go. Action Joe Fix. I picked up a Streak Hawk Mandalorian. Dude, yes, I know. People have been finding them. So I bought one for what was it, like 12 bucks, I think. So like half off, which is not bad. But now people are finding them for $7. When I found one, that was pure luck because it wasn't even in the Star Wars section. Somebody had left it in a whole other aisle. And as I was filming my toy hunt, I bumped into it and I grabbed it. I'm like, I'm just gonna check the price. It wasn't marked or anything, and I got it for $12. And I was like, yeah, that is a good price, you know. But now I've been seeing the $7. I saw they found Shinhati for $7. Um, Cobb Band, you know, that deluxe vintage collection for $7. That is a steal for that figure. They're all pretty solid figures, to be honest. So for $7, you cannot go wrong. So congrats on that, dude. That's awesome. Sup, Ultra Carter says Flex. Ultra Carter saying hi to Flex. Nilda says Ultra Carter can't wait. Jaeger 101. Woo. Um, First time listener says says Star Wars Addict 77, a little emoji I can't see in her affiliated, so I'm gonna take it as something offensive, you know. That's what I do. Ultra Carter says, recently yesterday I ordered WWE Elite figures of Bobby Lashley and Goldberg from Rogue Toys in Elite 113 CM Punk from a Terminator and hope they ship my CM Punk as he's the best in the world. Again, pretty sure those are wrestlers. Sorry. Don't really know much about them. Hey, what is up? Rolando in the house. What's going on, brother? Happy New Year to you. I think I've said Happy New Year to you already, but just in case, Happy New Year, brother. Really appreciate you. Hoping that you have an amazing 2025. And once again, thank you for all that you do for us content creators around here. Nerd affiliated, what's up? Says Neil. That Ultracar says, Rolando, great to see you, buddy. Absolutely. I go back to work in 2 weeks. Whoa, look at you. But it makes sense because I know you're gonna be busy. What is it? Is it next week already? Man, time is flying. I know you just posted it. I'm gonna go into your Instagram and pull that up. Mm, 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 mm. Dang, it is next week, man. That is kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. So what I'm talking about is this right here. Um, Let me rephrase. Whoops. So our friends here, Nilda and Tiara from Crafting on Ilm, will be at Fan Expo New Orleans and they will take the stage at the show. So congrats on that. Can't wait. Cannot wait to talk to you all about that. Also, while we're hearing your stories, I want to say congratulations on reaching, actually passing 10K followers on Instagram. That is amazing. Seriously, Instagram is super hard. I just cannot figure it out. So, Nilda, you killed it. Totally deserve it. Congrats, congrats. Sending you a big hug as through the force. And again, many, many more to come. Congrats on reaching this amazing milestone. Very well deserved. And like I said, after next week, next weekend, I'm sure that number is only gonna shoot up even more. So congrats on that. And like I said, I can't wait to talk to you all about Fan Expo New Orleans. In a couple weeks, we'll talk here in a couple weeks and get the inside scoop from y'all. Pause for hydration, because as Tiara would say, stay hydrated. A little inside joke if you haven't seen her video. Hey, look who it is. Big John in the house. Happy New Year, brother. Thank you so much for stopping by, dude. How have you been? How were the holidays? I hope that it was awesome for you, man. Can't wait to see you at whatever next show you're gonna be at, dude. Let me know. We are trying to go to KawaCon here in a couple weeks at the Henry B. I hear it's a big show. I've never been. We're hoping for media pass. I think we'll get them. And so, yeah, dude, if you're gonna be there, let me know. We'll hang out. Um, was good to see you at Houston. I know, man. That was a bit of a surprise. I did not expect to see you out there, man. That was a pleasant surprise. I'm glad that we got to hang out for a little bit, and it was amazing, meeting also your lovely wife. So thank you so much for stopping by and saying hi, dude. That was great. Also, I don't know if you've seen, but NostalgiaCon Houston for this year, they've added some good Star Wars stuff. Actually, I'll pull that up here and we'll talk about it in a little bit. Let me pull it up before I forget, because this past year, I keep saying this past year, last December 2024, NostalgiaCon in Houston was a great show for voice acting fans, but it was pretty light on the Star Wars. You know, that's not that is not an incorrect statement. But this year, and specifically for Houston, they're kind of gearing up. So they will have Ashley Eckstein, first of all. So that already is pretty good. I've never really talked to her. I've talked to her maybe a couple times. I know that Nilda is like best friends with her. So I'm hoping, maybe she can get me an in. But they also added, oops, passed it. They also added James Arnold Taylor, which is that's my guy right there. That's General Kenobi right there for the Clone Wars. So yeah, pretty excited for the this year's Nostalgic on Houston. As far as we know, up to today, we will be involved again. So I'm really hoping to get a panel with these dudes. I'm sure they're gonna add more people for Star Wars, so I'm looking forward to that. And who knows, maybe a couple of interviews wouldn't be bad, right? But appreciate you joining, Johnny. Glad to see you, man. Rolando saying hi to everybody pretty much here. And again, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Um, it's our Saturday, just hang out, catch up, just chatting about whatever. And this being the first Saturday of 2025, that number just sounds so in the future, guys. Like seriously, I cannot. I know you're like, oh, that's not much different from 2024, but 2025 just has that like quarter of a century into the new millennium type of thing, and I don't know. I keep saying it, and it just sounds very far into the future. But here we are, first Saturday of 2025. So I was like, you know what? We should have a late night hangout. Let's kick things off. We also got Pat's fan in the house. What's going on there, brother? Appreciate you joining me, and happy new year. Hello, General. He says you changed your profile pic. I had not noticed that. It's pretty cool. Rolando saying hi to Pat's fan. Hey, Rolando says Nilda. Hey, Rolando says Pat and Flex and Appetite. Hey, Pat's fan says Nilda. Hey, Jeff says Pat's fan. Jaeger says, you have been popping off. You already surpassed me on subscribers. Dude, whatever. You're still killing it, dude. I see all your videos do great. So I'm not quite there yet, but we're working on it. We're working on it. So congrats on that, dude. Next week, yeah, Terran take over New Orleans for sure, for sure. And like I said, I cannot wait to talk to you all about it. I can't wait to see your coverage. It's gonna be super, super fun. Rolando says Elijah. Nilda says love you. He said thank you, my friend. No, seriously, congratulations. That was impressive. Congrats, it's actually Joe Fix. Absolutely. Sub Pats fan says Flex. Actually, Joe Fix says I'm struggling with Instagram as well, dude. I cannot figure it out. I cannot, and I've read a little bit on it and I've tried different things, and I'll get a little bump and then it just all goes away. I've been stuck for months, bro, like months. Um, and it's a little bit frustrating because I feel that I'm actually fairly active on Instagram. Um, and the engagement is just not there for me. Um, so yeah, I mean, I guess I just really, really got to step up my game. Um, but yeah, I cannot figure it out, dude. Yes, congrats, Nilda says Flex. Absolutely, thank you guys for sure, for sure. Congrats, Nilda says Pat's fan. Action Joe Fix says looking forward to Retromania New Braunfels in about 2 weeks, dude. That show always brings out great, great stuff for toy hunters. Um, I'll be honest with you. I've gone the past 2 years. We were a little bit involved last year. I don't know what's going on this year. If I'm being honest, we might not be involved. I still want to want to go. But the thing is that that other big convention, Kawacon, happens at the same time. So I don't know. I might still pop in because, like I said, it's always great stuff that they bring out for collectibles. But see, at the same time, I'm worried because I always end up buying stuff there. Um, and I'm trying to pump the brakes on that from here to Japan. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but you should definitely go. I'm sure you've been, but in case you haven't, I highly recommend Retromania in New Braunfels. It's one of the best toy shows I've ever been to. Um, and like I said, they usually um, vendors from out of town usually make the trip, to be at that show because it's always a good flow of people and people spend. So that's always good. Rolando dropping Nilda's YouTube channel right there. Appetite for Collectibles. Make sure to check it out. She's got an awesome interview with Matty Matulis, where a certain general of the Grand Army of the Republic pops up. So I would check that one out. It's pretty fun. There you go, Rolando dropping Gary 101 YouTube channel. Also, guys, especially if you're into DC McFarlane Multiverse, you gotta follow this guy just so you know what's definitely gonna come out. This dude's like never wrong. It's kind of crazy. Brett in the house. What's going on, brother? Happy New Year, man. Wishing you the absolute best. I know I already said Happy New Year to you, but I don't know that I did it, here publicly. So there you go. Uh, Brett says you'll be at 50K by the end of 2025. Dude, I wish. But hey, it's possible, right? It could happen. It could happen. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you for saying that. Rolando dropping Action Joe Fix YouTube channel. Definitely check him out. Awesome, awesome. Local guy actually here, and make sure you check him out. Collecting with Cool, same thing. You guys know Brett. Brett is awesome. And just in case you haven't, definitely go subscribe to his channel as well as our brother Archer from Nerd Affiliated. All the links right there in the chat. Easy for you to just click on, and then it's going to open their landing page, and you're just going to hit subscribe, and you're going to watch a couple videos, leave a couple comments. It's going to be great, trust me. Remember, anytime that you see a link being dropped here by one of our moderators, go ahead and check it out. We like to help each other around here. Brad says, Pat's fan. Actually, Joe Fix says, I've been so excited. Nearing 300 subs on YouTube. I never thought anybody would ever watch my stuff. Thanks for all your help there. Dude, yeah, absolutely. Um, and it's dude, I would have killed for 300 subs my first year. Yeah, dude. Oh my lord, I would have been insane. If I hit 300 subs on YouTube, man. That took a while for me. That took definitely a while for me. So don't feel bad. Don't you. I remember wanting to get to 100, of course, triple digits, and then from there my next big milestone was 500. And back then it was because at 500 they would unlock your community tab. You didn't have a community tab before 500 subs. And so I was like, I want to get that community tab because that way I can post, and it'll be like a little bit like Instagram within YouTube. It's going to be great. It's going to drive my numbers up, blah blah. And then I remember one day randomly I think I was over 400, or maybe just shy of 400. I think I was still in the 300 and change, day, and it unlocked. It just unlocked for me. So I had the community tab like I think I was just before 400 subs, and I was like, what? Like what happened? so yeah, so then 500 kind of came and went without its like landmark, you know. Uh, but yeah, dude, it's awesome that you're getting close to 300, man, and you're gonna get plenty more. Like I said, it just takes takes a little bit to find your rhythm, find your people, to and for them to find you as well. So don't feel bad. If you're gonna go to New Braunfels for Retromania, dude, grab some content. They always have great stuff there. So make sure that you record that one. Rolando dropping Pat's fan Instagram. Appreciate you, Rolando. Action Joe Fix It. Hey, Rolando, thank you. Absolutely. Rolando, our multiversal moderator, always killing it out here. Also dropping Sexy Flex's Instagram, Marta's Instagram, Ultra Cutter's Instagram, and his very own Toy Hunts. Rolando, I hope to see many more this year, dude. I'm looking forward to that. Rolando killing it, hardest working moderator, dude. Absolutely by far. So says Pat's fan. Oh, look who it is. The man collects. Chris in the house. Good evening, everyone. What's going on, brother? Thank you so much for joining. Again, this is the first hangout, the first late hangout of the year. Saturday night, we like to just come in here, just chat, just chill out. If anybody's got, a topic they want to talk on, by all means, as long as it's not wrestling. All I can tell you about wrestling right now is that Monday Night Raw is going to be on Netflix on Monday. And I know that because they posted it earlier here in the chat. That's the only reason why I know that. Action Joe Fix says, I just dropped a video on Sideshow order of the Jedi Luke Skywalker video. Cool figure, but this face sculpt is interesting. Oh, really? Interesting. I got to check that out. Good job, Action Joe, man. I'll definitely check that out. Hey, what's up? Says Flexi, Sexy Flexi to the man collects. The man collects YouTube channel being dropped by Rolando. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Guys, seriously, I know I've said it 1,000 times and I will say it 1,000 more. If you like toy hunting, you gotta be following this man. This man is keeping toy hunting alive. It's kind of crazy. Flex saying hi to Brett. Great to see you, brother. Absolutely. Flex, good to see you, sir, says Chris. Ultracar says the man collects. Chris, seeing you, pal. Hey, hello, Ultra. How are you? Man collects says, thank you, Rolando. You are the man. Yes, sir. Rolando is the multiversal moderator. All right. I finally caught up to the chat. Again, you guys are on fire, dude. And I appreciate y'all. Seriously. So much fun here. Hanging out with y'all, Saturday night as we, wind down the day. We still got Sunday. Anybody got plans for brunch? Do people still do brunch? I'm old. I have no idea. I'm actually not even sure what brunch is anymore. I kind of want to try a new place tomorrow. I don't know if we will wake up in time. Okay, you know what? I take that back. I don't know if I will wake up in time. I'm usually the one that gets up the latest, during the weekend, because during the regular work week, I'm kind of the one that wakes up first. Actually, now that I think about it, which is messed up. It's not cool. So yeah, if we manage to wake up, and again, we being me, we might go to a new place. So yeah, who knows? Exciting things, happening all around here on 2025. Mm, mm. Wow, I did not mix that properly. That is it's pungent. All right. Let's see if I can swirl it around here a little bit. That was a stronger gulp than I initially anticipated. But hey, again, stay hydrated. All right, that's better. All right. Ooh, we got some more messages. What's going on? What's going on? Action Joe Fig says, I forgot to ask you, and just remember, did you ever get a chance to speak with Star Wars Theory while he was in town? I did, actually. So we got a couple of friends in common. I've never talked to the guy, believe it or not. Um, this might be shocking to people, but in general, I don't actually follow him all that much. I'm subscribed and stuff, but I don't actually watch his stuff that much. Not because I don't like him or anything like that. It's just that I have a very limited amount of time to watch things because I'm also trying to make things, right? And so when I do watch people, I tend to watch you guys. I tend to try to watch, the content creators that I like, that I know, uh, and try to show support there. So he's got what 3-4 million people watching him. So I'm like, he's good. He doesn't need my help. So I've never really interacted with him or anything like that. But it was actually the closing time, just about closing time for the show here in town. Uh, and I just bumped into him. He was talking to another artist there, and he was wrapping up. So I was like, I'm just gonna say hi. And so I said hi. He's like, hey man, what's he was cool. We had a cool interaction. He looked tired for sure. It was a rough, not a rough, just a long weekend for him. Meeting so many fans and stuff. He always had a line. I did notice that. Every time I would go by his booth, he always had a big line. But yeah, and so we got to talking, and I told him more or less who I was, and he recognized a couple of the names, that we know in common, and we started talking about them for a little bit, and just sort of his plans. He said he's coming back, for the next SpaceCon and stuff like that. So yeah, it was cool, man. Like I said, the guy seems very chilled. Um, but yeah, we talked for, I don't know, 5 maybe 7 minutes. It wasn't a super short conversation, but we didn't really get to hang out all that much either. But like I said, cool guy. I have no problems with him. He was fine. He was good at he was nice. He was cool. Did you get to talk to him when he was here? Rolando flexing that he's the best moderator in the house. Absolutely, my man flex, says Brett. Juan here in the chat. What's going on? And hello there, Bunker Bunch. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you joining. Juan Carlos says, Rolando. Brad says, we could do a stream called the Bunker Brunch. Ooh. See, that's the kind of $1 million idea he got, Brett. Ultracar says, man, collects doing good, pal. Just yesterday I ordered some WWE Elites to add to my WWE collection, which will consist mostly of Elites and Ultimate Editions. I don't do basics anymore. Good for you, man. Focusing is always important. Otherwise, you'll end up like me, all over the place. Ultracar saying hi to Brett and Rolando dropping Juan's Instagram. Awesome. The Bunker Brunch. That's an awesome name, Brett. Brett, you and I might have to talk. I've been wanting to figure out how to do a sort of like a morning show. I don't know, buddy. You might have just hit it on the head here. The nail hit the nail on the head. I'm not good with phrases, guys, like at all. But I think you know what I'm talking about. You very accurately named the thing that I want to do. There you go. We'll take that. So yeah, who knows? That might be a thing going here into the future, all the way into 2025. Again, sounds kind of nuts, right? It's kind of fun to say it, but at the same time, it just it still freaks me out a little bit. So yeah, what do you guys have planned for this week? You know what? What do you guys have planned for this year? What's the Bunker Bunch cooking up for this year? As I mentioned here on this month, we got within our scopes, we got Kawacon, which is a big anime convention here in town in San Antonio. I've never been. Mike, the dad baiter, has been a couple times, and he says that it's pretty legit. So he's actually working on getting us a media pass, which I think we will get because he knows a couple people in there. So I think we'll be good on that. So we'll probably be popping in. But it is Retromania, the event that we just talked about, Retromania. Um, it's more of a toy show. They do bring some guests, but it's more of a toy show. And I've been to it 2 years in a row now, and it's really, really nice. Like they always find some good stuff there, and great price too. For the most part, everybody's willing to negotiate. People are there to buy. I've noticed that that toy show in particular, like I always see people buying a bunch of stuff, and therefore the sellers, are more open to deals. So, but again, that's kind of my problem because I know I always walk away with something, there. Always, but I don't know. I still want to go. It's only one day, which is, kind of it's good and bad because if you miss it, well, tough luck, right? But also, there's no I'll come back tomorrow and pick it up. Then you kind of have to deal right there on the spot. So yeah, we'll probably still stop by because, like I said, it is a good show. Goals for 2025. Be a little bit more organized, I would say, in various aspects. In as much as content creating, collecting, traveling for sure. Um, I know you guys know this. I will be going to Japan here in a few months, but also just organize with the time and organize with the honestly with in the with the collection. I've started moving some stuff around. I've mentioned this on our first high ground show this week, first show of the year. I mean that I'm actually gonna be getting rid of some stuff. It's just time to let go. It's just time to let go. As much as I don't really want to, for the most part, there's stuff that it just doesn't fit well. So I already got one bin full of stuff, for sale, and I'll be posting some of that stuff, around here and on Instagram and stuff like that. So, if you guys are looking for something, just keep an eye out. And yeah, so like I said, I think that's one of my biggest goals here for this new year. Just be more organized, and that applies throughout, many um, parts of my life, right? And of course, content creation. But yeah, what about y'all? Let me jump here into the chat. Um, tu- 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 tu. Sexy Flex, he says, sounds good to me. I like my ex over medium bunker brunch. Ooh, I don't even know what that means, over medium. I'm gonna have to Google it up. Action Joe Fix says, it seems like yesterday there was all this big hoopla over Y2K. Now it's been 25 years ago. Yeah, dude, it is nuts. Um, Revenge of the Sith turns 20 this year, and they better do a lot for that. The bare minimum is that it's got to come back to theaters. Um, I wish they would do something like, add a couple of deleted scenes into it. Um, yeah, I think Celebration Japan has got to do a lot with with that, like to celebrate that, because it deserves it. I mean, Revenge of the Sith is one of my favorite movies in the entire saga. Favorite prequel for sure. For a lot of people, actually, it's their favorite Star Wars. Like, period. Um, Pat's fan saying, wasn't the timeline for Buck Rogers 2025? Dude, probably. It's kind of crazy. Like I said, Pacific Rim is this year. So yeah, I think 2025 is gonna be a bumpy ride. Ultra Car says, probably gonna stop by Walmart to see if they have anything new for WWE and Jurassic World. I already know there ain't nothing good in the Marvel and Star Wars section. Dude, you're right. I stopped by today at Walmart, filmed a little quick toy hunt, but man, it was rough. Marvel's like not even there. Star Wars, there's stuff there, but just stuff that we've seen before. Um, but yeah, Marvel is just empty, dude. It's not even old stuff. There's no stuff like at all. Jurassic World at my home base, Walmart, was mainly Chaos Theory. A lot less than in December, but it's still there. And WWE, I could not tell you to save my life, bro. Sorry. Mm, Chris from the Man Collect says personal goal for 2025. Gotta drop about 40 more pounds. Wow. Collecting goal, get my collection room under control. YouTube goal, I like to try to get 10K subs by the end of 20, get to 10K subs by the end of 2025. Dude, what are you talking about? You're like almost there already. What do you mean by the end of 2025? That's gonna be like by the end of next month. Come on now. Action Joe Fix says, let go of some stuff will make room for new stuff. You say that, but the problem is I got normal room and I with the old stuff with the old stuff already here. And of course, I keep adding stuff. Jeff says, need to finish more projects in the room. Way too many going on. Just concentrate. Dude, I exactly, you nailed that in the head. Again, hit the nail in the head. One day I'll learn them, all right? But not today. Jeff, you very accurately described what I was thinking. Which is, I I start 3 4 different things, and then a month goes by and I haven't finished any of them. So you're right. That's definitely a part of the organization that I was talking about. Is focusing on, what, just focus on this one thing, finish that, and then move on, right? Because otherwise, I'm gonna end up again with just a bunch of half baked, projects that don't really go anywhere. Hit the nail on the head. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry, dyslexic sometimes. Freezy saying, "Do you think we will get a Luke focused animated series?" I don't know, man. It would be a hit for sure. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with Luke. And maybe not just with Luke, but Luke would be the first one. Luke is it's almost like their secret weapon, right? That's not so secret, I know. The problem with Luke is that if they overuse him, what else do they got? They got nothing, you know? Luke is kind of like it's kind of like the nuke, like the nuclear bomb in their arsenal. It's there. We know it's there. We see it every, little bit here and there through the years, just to remind us that it's there and that it's, massive. But once you push that button and actually use the nuke, where do you go from there, right? You don't really got anything else above that. So I I don't think we're gonna see a Luke focused project. Aside from maybe like the comic books, right? They've been doing some of the comic books, but let's be honest, that's the minority of people read the comic books, as compared to movies or the shows, right? The TV shows. So it would be awesome, What I do see happening is maybe we get a Tales of, let's say a Tales of Luke Skywalker, and we get three stories there, right? Three mini stories that I could see happening. That I think we're more um, in tune with, right? Why? Because if you produce a an animated show based on Luke or focused on Luke, that's got to go on for 1, 2, or 3 seasons at least. Not every episode can be awesome, right? Not because just because Luke is there is it doesn't guarantee anything. So you know we would run into a problem where we're like, man, I didn't really like this, even though Luke is in it. I did not enjoy it. It wasn't that great, or it was just flat out bad. But if we do a mini series, right, like a Tales of, the Skywalkers, and then we get 1 or 2 stories about Luke in there that are, and they are shorts, right? They're short episodes, so we get 15 minutes worth of Luke. That I see it, as more maybe a better alternative to using Luke, right? Than flat out a dedicated series. Um, I would love to see more of Luke for sure, as long as it makes sense, right? That's the thing, that was kind of my thing with Ahsoka, because we know that Luke is around, right? Um, so all of that just kind of takes away for all of them, for all those characters. They're like, yeah, you're cool and all, and you're powerful and all, but there's Luke. Luke is here. Luke is in his prime, so he's always gonna be top dog. I mean, Ultracar says Hasbro needs to focus on doing Revenge of the Sith figures. Yes, yes, they do. They absolutely do. Mm. They are putting out that Cody Black Series, finally new one on the retro card for Revenge of the Sith. Um, I would take 3 or 4 more of those, to be honest. Yeah, like you said, you know what they should do? Cody's a good one. Don't get me wrong. Even though Cody was never on that line, Cody is good because we needed that update. I would take a Anakin and an Obi-Wan. They could be together, they could be separate. Mustafar duel, all grimy and with like little burnt like um, clothes on them, the way Episode Three figures did it back then. I would take those, on the same retro card. Um, who else would it be cool? I mean, a Palpatine would be cool, but they just did it, so they might just repackage. I don't know. They probably will. But yes, I absolutely agree. Ultra Carter, we need focus on Revenge of the Sith. Appetite for Collectibles saying Revenge of the Sith is all time top three. There you go. Yeah, for sure. Hit the nail. Yes, thank you. Pat's fan says a Hondo animated series. Oh, dude, yeah, I'm down for that. Because Hondo can act as a main character, but also a supporting, character like we saw on Clone Wars, right? So he can take center stage, but he can also play over here in the shadows. So I think Hondo is an interesting character. Brett saying it's got a roll, but episode 3 is my favorite right after Empire Strikes Back. Nice. We will plan the brunch streams ASAP. There you go. Appreciate you, brother. Good night, Brett. I appreciate you hanging out, man. Thank you. Freezy says, that makes sense. I think we'll get some Luke maybe in either Mando movie or Dave's movie and give him a scene with Ahsoka and Anakin. Yes. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm saying, right? You gotta use him sparingly and you gotta use him right. So if they give us a scene where it's Ahsoka, Luke, and then Force Ghost Anakin, ooh, that's powerful right there. That is powerful. If they can pull that off, good job, Disney, for sure. Action Joe Fix says Hasbro Star Wars license expires this year. Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't know, man. I gotta believe. Well, I gotta believe they're gonna renew, but should they? I don't know anymore. Be interesting if they increase the price and Hasbro like, you know what, we're out, because Hasbro doesn't do well with Star Wars. As much as they produce, it's not their top line for sure. Sometimes I just wish that Hasbro would just double down on their own properties and make them, that much better, right? I mean, GI Joe is great. Classifieds, it's great. So if they focus on generating, more of those projects, more of those, give us like more classic looks like they've been giving us lately. Um, well, I mean, Power Rangers is gone. Lightning Collection is not happening anymore. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's um, it's definitely not one of their top hitters. I think Transformers was doing good if I remember correctly. But also, there's other Star Wars figures out there. Um, the problem is that they're not so much the same, right? So the bulk of the action figures does come from Hasbro. 6-inch, 3.75. There's those epic heroes, but they're not. They're really not all that. They wouldn't replace a vintage collection figure by far. The sad thing is that the vintage collection figure has been getting better. Considerably in this past like 2 maybe 3 years by now. They have been improving so much. They're actually really good. The last the last couple of years, they're really really good figures for the most part. Of course, not everyone, not every release is great, but I would say the majority of them are. Black Series hit and miss. They keep holding on to old molds, um, which baffles me when they already got figures with updated bodies. Why not use them? That I don't understand that. Um, so yeah, Black Series is definitely not. I wouldn't say it's been improving. I'd say they're improving some of their characters, that they've included. But even then, we have so many gaps, in the movies, in scenes, really, let alone in comic books, etc. So they try to. I understand that they try to, cover a lot of it, right? Expanded universe, movies, video games, etc. But at the same time, you're only focusing on, or I take that back. You should only be focusing on a few of those, right? Pick, I don't know, pick three per year and sort of go heavy on those, right? So people that want those can collect them, can wrap up their dioramas, their collections. If they're only focused on episode three, let's say, it's a good year, and then you move on to another one, and you'll sprinkle episode three figures here and there, but not, not in like freaking 10 years, and then you still can't get all the figures that you want. Um, I've heard Disney Hasbro relationship has grown sour. It's all about the money, man. So if they're not making the money, then yeah, I can totally see that. Ultracar says Star Wars made those god awful epic hero series figure no one wants. Due to them being 5 POA. Yep, not even kids are buying them. Nope, I agree. They want their figures to be very postable. Yep, I totally agree, dude. Um, I just saw a bunch of them at Walmart. They're dropping in price, like base, like regular retail price. They've dropped what, 20% already, and they're still not moving. So I totally agree. Worst thing is that Marvel Epic Hero Series figures have more articulation than 5 POA Star Wars. Yeah, yeah. What's up with that? Because I thought they were supposed to be the same, but I guess the license is not the same. Um, but yeah, I have noticed that the the Marvels, are a little bit better than the Star Wars for sure. Black Series has put out too many figures that nobody wants. Yep, I agree. I totally agree. And then when they put out a release that people do want, they either would make it an exclusive, or limited quantities in stores. Uh, Basically, they would make it hard to get. It wouldn't be a wide release. It wouldn't be an easy to get figure, right? The only thing that Hasbro was doing early last year, if you remember, 2023 and early 2024, was re-releasing some of those harder to get figures. I think that's about the only good thing that they did, right? And even then, they botched some of those releases. Some of them never actually came out, and then they just kind of stopped. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if they just found extra stock that they needed to sell. Nilda says, I need a Creature Commando toy line. Dude, I haven't seen the show, but I keep hearing awesome things, so I'm excited. I'm excited for this new DC. DC needs to do good. They got so many like great characters that they were just not done right. So I'm very much hopeful for James Gunn's DC. Actually, just says it's not all on Hasbro though. Too, Disney has not helped with the content they put out that either nobody watches or likes. No, I agree. It's definitely not all Hasbro. And it's funny you say that because I was reading. Uh, no, I take that back. I don't read. I was watching somebody on YouTube talk about the Acolyte figures. I think specifically it was Yord and Saul, maybe. And they're like, you know what? The sad part is that these are excellent figures. These have new molds. These have soft goods. Uh, the articulation is great. He's like, so these are actually some of the best Jedi figures we've gotten like in the entire line, and they're gonna they're just not gonna sell because of the characters. So he's like, yeah, so it's very sad that we actually got some really, really good, solid action figures finally for Jedi characters, and people hate them. People hate the characters, so they're definitely not gonna sell well. Passman says, "Hey, General, I have to check back to my house for else I will finish tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend, everyone. Good night, General. Appreciate you, Pat fan, man. Thank you so much for joining and hanging out, man. Have a good night. Get some rest, and have a great Sunday." Uh, but yeah, guys, we will see. That's an interesting point. If Hasbro does anything with the license, expiring, I don't know. I don't know. like I said, they've been doing really good with the vintage collection. They've been doing really good. The vehicles are on fire. I mean, the vehicles that they put out. Um, I don't enjoy the pricing that much, but man, last year I bought the oh, they're actually right there. I think you can see them. So I bought the E-wing and I bought the Slave One on sale. Um, that's the Book of Boba Fett version, and man, they are great vehicles. Great vehicles. From what I've seen of the reviews about, with our friends about the Haslab Ghost, amazing vehicle, right? So I don't know. Maybe they need to lean more into that. Now, don't get me wrong. Uh, the pricing, does hurt a little bit. These are expensive vehicles. I mean, I think the E-wing was what, like $130 or something like that, which is expensive. That N1, for the Mandalorian, that was also like up over $100. So it's not, they're not cheap for sure, but they are high quality vehicles. Like the details are there for sure. I don't know, maybe they need to start producing, more of those and maybe drop it down to like $80, at least make it under 100. And I think they would do good for sure. And they got a plethora of vehicles they could put out. Um, I would love a new Arc 170. I would buy that for sure. So, so yeah, like I said, it's it's gonna be interesting. We'll see what a Hasbro does or doesn't do, right? But I think they should start leaning heavier on their own lines, on their own properties, just because they got more of a profit margin on those. And I think I do have to hand it to the GI Joe. Well, you tell me, Action Joe. You tell me from my outside perspective, right? Um, I think they've been doing a lot better with GI Joe. In general, I'm not saying perfect, but I think they've handled the line better. Me personally, I love those classified on card. They look so good. I know they don't sell very well, but man, they look so. I just saw Beachhead at Walmart a few hours ago, and I'll be honest with you, I was tempted because that dude looked like straight out of my childhood, man, just in bigger form. I didn't because I cannot, by no means, can I, jump into another line like that. Um, and man, I keep going back to that first figure, that launched the line, that Snake Eyes, with the whole setup, with the whole weapons rack and that packaging, dude. That's the only one I do have. I love that figure actually. That packaging, really, that presentation. So it just shows, they can do good. They can do very good if they want to. And again, I do feel that they have been improving on that, but there's definitely still room to improve. But yeah, you know. So I think we're gonna start wrapping up here. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for excuse me. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Here on this cool Saturday night. Again, the first one for 2025. So I greatly appreciate it if you check us out over on Facebook, General Kenobi's Bunker, all one word. We're also on Instagram, general.kenobis.bunker. Same thing on Threads at general.kenobis.bunker. TikTok, is there still a TikTok? I think I opened it today and it's still there. So go ahead and say it. TikTok at general underscore Kenobis underscore bunker. It'll probably go away, I guess. I don't know. That's what I keep hearing. I haven't read. So yeah, I would also greatly appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much if you already have. Let us know what your goals for 2025 is, man. So we're hoping to have lots of fun here in the channel. I appreciate y'all hanging out tonight. Like I said, the Bunker Bunch is always always comes out in force. Let me see. We do have a few last comments here. Ultracross says G.I. Joe classified figures were revealed, and one of them is the Green Shirt Trooper, as it comes with alternate heads, necks, and it puts the Star Wars robots. Yeah, exactly, dude. That's the thing. We know they can do a great, well, maybe not great, but a very solid, figure with alternate looks. They just, the money's not there, I guess. Hyperspace Heroes podcast. What's going on, man? Disney could put out an Adelphi Rangers show, and Hasbro could put out a whole 3.75 line of characters and figures for the show. It could include Imperial Remnant and Mandalorian. See, that's the thing. How hard would that be? Because you would have X wings, you would have E wings, maybe Y wings, which they kind of already have, right? So it would just be maybe a slight retool, a slight repaint, uh, new portraits, of course, for the pilots, things like that. But it wouldn't be like an all new type of thing, right? Maybe introduce a vintage collection U wing, which would be cool. But that's what I'm saying. There's definitely opportunities. It's just I don't know what they're thinking. Ultracross says classified green shirt trooper reveals our leaks. Oh no way! I didn't know that. Night Bunker Bunch says, Elijah, appreciate you joining, man. Chris saying, excellent stream as always. Have a great night, all. Absolutely, man. Get some rest. Start Angel in the house. Appreciate you, brother. We're just wrapping up. So, once again, I really, really appreciate y'all hanging out here on our first late night hangout of 2025. Once again, if I haven't said it before, wishing y'all the best. But, lots of health, lots of success, lots of toys, for your collection or whatever you collect. I just hope that it grows. So yeah, thank you again, Bunker Bunch. Really appreciate you hanging out. Have a great rest of your Saturday, which is almost done, but great rest of your Saturday. Amazing Sunday. And yeah, I will catch you next week for regularly scheduled predictions for the second to last episode of Skeleton Crew, as well as our weekly show, The High Ground. And I don't know. Now I'm really thinking maybe the bunker brunch needs to be a thing. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Have a great night, and may the force be with you.